Hello, and welcome to the Underpaid Gamers Podcast. My name is Tony. I'm with my friend and colleague, Justin.
What's up?
Earlier this week, I had a mental breakdown because I didn't think I ever introduced myself in the beginning of the introduction. I always just thought I said, welcome, this is Justin. And I didn't think for one single episode I said my name.
You do, don't you?
I do.
I'm pretty sure you do.
I do.
Every single time.
I do. But I thought I didn't. I'm like, well, that's awful.
And this is Tony.
Again. Today,
We got a lot of things.
we got a lot of things to talk about. We're going to talk about more about Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've gone further, although only barely.
Only barely further. It's because you keep exploring.
I don't.
And you're not playing the story.
That's true. We're going to talk about Iron Fist comes out next week on Friday.
Yeah.
But there's been reviews on the first 6 episodes, so we're going to talk about that. There's Beauty and the Beast comes out March 17th, next Friday. We're going to talk about that. And a live-action Little Mermaid trailer, in case you guys haven't seen that yet.
Oh my gosh.
And then we're also going to talk about, I guess there's Star Wars news that I didn't know anything about. Deadpool 2 news. And we're going to talk about the Switch a little bit.
Yep, Switch
along
launch.
with some little treats for you along the way. Little tips and tricks.
A few more things in there, so please enjoy. Theme song.
The Underpaid Gamers is the official podcast of underpaidgamers.com. We're on Twitter at upgamerspodcast, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, at Underpaid Gamers. I feel like there's one more I never remember. You can email us at underpaidgamerspodcast at gmail.com. We have a website, underpaidgamerspodcast, underpaidgamers.com.
Twitter handle is UPGamers.
At UPGamers. Man, you told me absent-mindedly, maybe not absent-mindedly, but...
Is this today?
Yes.
Okay.
Just today,
here we go.
That you are a teacher, and one of your students is like, who's this chucklehead that's on the podcast with you?
No, they think it's
My
me.
confidence has been ruined! My mojo is gone!
Yeah, a student was like listening.
I'm gonna have to work myself back up.
It was your opinion about 2K games.
Listen, here's my opinion
Basketball
about 2K
games.
games. Officially. They should be free to play with yearly updates that you can pay for, like DLC. They should have a base core game of the NBA, if we're talking about NBA, it should be free to play, and then every year they update the roster, update all this other stuff, and that's very similar to what you can expect from like a Destiny. So it's very basic, and that's free to play. I mean, Destiny's not. And then you can add on to that. You can add rosters, you can add whatever else you need in NBA games. A concession stand. I don't know. What's in an NBA game that's fun to play?
I don't know.
I mean, actually, NBA games would be very fun. I can understand the appeal. It would be very fun to, like, just dunk on someone that you don't like from an opposing team. Like, yeah, you suck it.
Yeah.
But I do think it would be a better business model for them. Well, maybe not for them, because they make money hand over fist.
They do.
But for gamers, if it was free to play and you just added expansions.
Perhaps.
Because then they can work on their engine. Everything will be smooth, silky smooth.
Yeah, sometimes they don't have silky smooth
Add updates.
launches.
Same with Madden. They should all be the same.
I mean, they essentially are all the same.
Same with Call of
They
Duty.
add small little features every time.
I would say do the same. It would be harder to do with Call of Duty. Because eventually, like, down the road, you'd have, like, 200 guns in the game, and how do you balance 200 guns against each other?
It's way too hard.
But, like, NBA, there's 10 players on the court at a time, and I don't know how balancing works in NBA. Stats and stuff.
It's based on
But I
stats.
feel like that would be easier to adjust.
Probably. I would say so.
My mojo! He took it.
Sorry.
I gotta work my way back.
My B, yo.
Working my way back to you, babe.
So, what do you want to start with first for the news?
League of Legends, I just looked into this, won a lawsuit against a cheating website for 10 million smackaroons.
That's
otherwise known as dollars. US dollars.
Smackarolls.
So $10 million, they won in a lawsuit. Essentially, the website was League Sharp, and their complaint was, as written, League Sharp injects assemblies or scripts into LOL for $15 subscription fee. For $50 a month, League Sharp's botting service quickly levels League of Legends players' characters. The lawsuit also accuses League Sharp of attacking Riot servers, teaching League of Legends players how to cheat without being caught, and advising them how to fraudulently dispute transactions in-game. Essentially, they added this parasite onto your game and they're charging people for it. We want all of our money back.
All the money that
they made, we want it back. So now they won. The Riot Games, who has conducted League of Legends, has won the lawsuit. League Sharp sites are now been court-ordered to be shut down, and Riot has control over them, which is nice. I want to see League of Legends then put this $10 million to a tournament.
That'd be cool.
I mean, sure, take some for yourself because I'm sure you have to pay
All the legal
lawyers
fees,
and stuff,
right.
legal fees, and even some workarounds. Just take 20% of it, $2 million, big tournament.
Yeah. That way you're still encouraging competition and fun stuff.
And it's also $2 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That's fun.
Cool.
What do you got? What's next?
So the Switch launched recently.
Nintendo Switch.
Yes, and I've been able to go a little bit of hands on it.
March 3rd.
By the generosity of some of my students, I was able to play Zelda for
There's 2 games.
a good 20 minutes.
3 games.
There's
One,
like
two,
some
Switch.
download games. Also, he wanted me to correct something you said because he listens to our podcast.
Okay.
So
what does he have?
when you insert...
Be aware my mojo has already been destroyed.
Okay. The cartridges,
Okay.
because they're flash, they're not disc optical drives. You don't have to install anything from the cartridge.
So it just plays off of that?
So it plays straight off of the cartridge. So the internal memory of the Switch doesn't hold like anything but the Zelda saves.
What did I say?
You said that it would have to install like what we do with PlayStation games, where it installs like
Maybe.
updates and things onto the hard drive.
That might be reference to my Dragon Quest Heroes, which is...
The 32 gig thing.
Yeah, if you download it, it's 32 gigs, which you immediately need a memory card for.
Sure. Yeah.
But maybe I said what he said.
So, anyways, I was able to play Zelda, which is beautiful.
Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, I was like super hesitant to play.
Did play it? It was.
I did play it.
Were you afraid that you're like you want to become addicted?
I was afraid. I was very afraid because I'm really into Horizon Zero Dawn right now, and I really want to enjoy the crap out of that game. So I'm like refusing to play any other PS4 game.
You don't want to get distracted
because I don't want to get distracted from it. Because we all know when you get distracted from a good game,
it's so hard to go back.
It's so hard to go back, and it's just it does the game dirty because the game deserves your full attention.
That's right.
Right. So he let me play the Switch with him. We played like a racing game after school for a little while, and then I was able to play some Zelda as well. Overall, I was pretty impressed with it. It actually made me kind of want to get it.
With the Switch?
Yeah, I'm probably going to wait until more AAA games are out. Like I'm thinking like maybe Christmas, something like that. But
so you mean with it being launched in March and there's nothing coming out until November?
Yeah. Essentially, I'm waiting. And I have some other friends that have played it and given me their reports on it. And apparently, what I've been told by multiple people who own the Switch is that Zelda is so good, it is worth it to buy the Switch only for that. Now, I'm not going to buy into that.
That's what a lot of people have said.
That's what a lot of people have said. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. Mm-hmm. One of them, Boogie 2188, I think.
Big Boogie.
I love that guy. I like listened to his review of it. He was like going all up in arms about it too. He loves the Zelda game and said it's totally worth it.
I've never played a Zelda game. I don't necessarily see the appeal, especially if I compare it to Horizon. What I like about Horizon is that Aloy is always like talking to herself. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm not alone. Like
you're getting used to the character.
Yeah, right. But with Link,
he doesn't talk.
He doesn't do anything. It's just a lot of silence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like everything I've seen some people stream. I've seen some videos. It's just them running around doing things. Almost looks like they're just running around doing things without any direction.
Like, yeah, well, that's one of the things that people really like about the new Zelda game is because it's not hand-holding them, is the thing I saw. And one of the reviews I read gave it like a 9.8, and it said, finally, Nintendo knows not to handhold anymore. Because essentially, you just get dropped in this giant world, and you're not really given any direction. You're expected to just explore. And my student who has been playing it for like, I don't even know how many hours,
days,
finally came across his first dungeon because he was just enjoying exploring so much that he didn't want to go into any of them. So he explored and found one, and then finally went through it all, and he's just really loving it. So I've only heard really good things about it. However, the Switch itself, while I don't know anybody personally who's had a bad experience with their Switch hardware-wise, I do know that there are some issues with the Switch as it's released for some people. For most people, the dock has like some issues with scratching.
The plastic dock?
Yeah, the plastic dock that you're supposed to slide it in to transfer it onto your TV. Apparently, the plastic is so sharp that it can scratch your screen.
And smudge it, yeah.
And smudge it and like make it look bad. So there's been, I think that's like the most common issue that I've seen. Some other things we saw, me and Tony watched the compilation video of like all these Switch fails. There are a lot of different random things that could happen to you. The main one that I think would affect the most people would be that screen scratching one though.
That would take me off.
It would.
That cheapo plastic?
Yeah. Like why would you do that? Why is that even a thing?
We talked about it when we had Rich on with us. We talked like the dock is just this big old hollow plastic thing with nothing inside of it.
With like a few plugs in it.
Yeah.
It seems a little bit too much.
We also talked about how the charge port is on the bottom. Mm-hmm. So you can charge it in handhold mode as long as like the wire's like in front of you or whatever. Yeah. But you can't like sit it on a table and charge it.
Right. So you can't like prop it up on its stand and play and charge at the same time unless you like drill a hole through your table so you can like plug it in.
Might be worth it.
Which might be worth it if you're really that hardcore about it. But I will say that when I was hands on with it, it did feel pretty sturdy. And like the screen looks very, very good.
Yeah.
I know it's only 720, but man,
it's small 720.
It looks really nice. It does.
Zelda looks super cool, and I assume that Super Mario Odyssey is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
They're going to have 2 games that are contending for Game of the Year. I guess if you think about it, that's not really that much. That's only 2 games. Whereas like Xbox and Sony are going to have like 8.
They will have
each,
a lot,
right?
But
so maybe 2 isn't very much, but those 2 I assume will probably win. Breath of the Wild will probably win.
Probably.
Just from what I've seen. Everyone. See, you said that you have a link on here that says Rocky Start for the Switch, and everything I've heard is that it's selling really well.
It is.
People are really enjoying it. There was a montage video that we watched that's just people like failing with it. Like, well, the Switch
there's like
itself
some issues,
failing.
right?
Like booting up and stuff. But I feel like a couple updates and it'll be fixed.
Right, and that's what most hardware, this is pretty normal, I would say. Like even the PlayStation, when it first launched, I think I remember there were some issues with something. What was it?
I haven't heard anything about it overheating.
No.
Or anything like that.
No, it's
pretty cool.
Yeah. So either way, like I think the Switch is doing pretty well, despite all the problems that we watched. And there's like some things, like if you assemble it incorrectly, like some people were like sliding
the grips. I don't remember what they're called.
The extra grips in upside down, and then it was like so hard to get out. Like after you did that.
Yeah.
Some dumb things. So just pay attention.
And the
wrist goes on the bottom.
Big issue with the left Joy-Con not syncing with a lot of people. That was widespread. I think they said they found a way to fix that, but
yeah. But overall, I mean, I've been pretty impressed with.
Is one game worth buying a whole system for?
Well, not for me. Not for me. Some people though.
8 months. Like what's gonna happen in 8 months? Nothing for the Switch. I mean, some people say you can get like 400 hours out of Breath of the Wild, which
I've heard some crazy numbers.
Which might be true.
I have a friend who's super into Zelda. And he's like, this is easy 100+ hours game before you even beat it if you want to.
But how many times do you play games like that?
I don't know.
Like I have a whole list of games I want to play. And you have a whole list of games
you have to play. If it really has to do with like your loyalty, like what game franchises you really like. There's some game franchises that you just love to death, right? Zelda is one of those franchises that's been around for a long time, has a lot of loyalty. And for some people, it is worth it, and that's fine if that's your position on it. For me, like I do like Zelda games, but I'm not a super Zelda fan. You know, like if I had to choose a series that I'm like gonna buy things for, Final Fantasy, which I feel a little bit bad saying, but I like spend my weekend looking for like a mobile Final Fantasy game to play in addition to Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, which is like what I play all the time on my phone.
Which is your Dragon Quest. It's like Final Fantasy.
I know. Well, I was playing. I looked at my funds and said I still need to do more surveys for money. So then I just started playing Chrono Trigger again. Oh, yeah. And that sated my desire. But I don't know. If you are a really big Nintendo fan, this could be worth it to pick up right now, just for that for Zelda alone.
What's going on?
With how good it is. But
why is March in the end of February, which February 28th, I'll consider March for this point.
Okay.
Why are there all these open world games coming out? Is it because they know that like there's nothing coming out for a long time, and they're like, well, we've got these huge games out? Because like Horizon, open world. Mass Effect Andromeda, open world. You got Zelda. Breath of the Wild. Those are all big games. Like
huge.
I'm more excited for Andromeda than I am for Horizon. Or
no, take
for,
that back.
Breath of the Wild. But again, the investment into Andromeda is $60. Investment into Breath of the Wild is
$350,
$360, not counting the memory cards of
or
$400
or taxes.
Yeah.
So we have a lot. Gamers have gotten a lot of open world hours ahead of them if you are that invested.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out in fall.
Right.
So like, if you had the choice between Super Mario Odyssey and Red Dead Redemption 2, which one are you going to choose?
Right.
Probably Red Dead.
Probably.
See, I think Nintendo. I think this one. I think it's a really good mobile system. The Switch, you're like, okay, I'm going on a trip. I have a couple hours to play on a plane. I'm definitely going to play Zelda. Sure. And then you get into it and you're like, oh, I don't want to put this down. I'm going to hook this up when I get home and I'm going to play even more and more and more.
Sure.
And that has to compete. I think whether it's like a carrot on a stick. It's like you start this and then you don't want to stop. I think that's where they're trying to get you.
Sure.
Whereas other games are like, you don't want to play anything else. Mm-hmm. But this one is kind of banking on the fact that like once you start, you don't want to stop, and everything else is just like you're going to be so in on this, you won't think about anything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I gotcha. So anyways, that's Switch news.
Tell me about the Star Wars stuff.
So some very influential people were able to see the first part of the trailer. Apparently it's not finished, but they got to see like a
what
20 or 30 second trailer.
Who are these people?
It was these donors for this Disney Cares thing. I think it was Disney Cares. I can't remember what the actual title. Some what's it called? House of Mouse, which is like this charity thing that Disney puts on. For all those people, they showed like a small clip of the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And part of it is the first words of the new movie. So this is spoilers, perhaps, if this is reported correctly. I'm looking at Games Radar right now. They're the ones who did this.
Looking at you, Games Radar.
So apparently, the first words. Do you want to know this? You may want to close your ears.
I already saw the tweet.
Oh, okay.
I've already been spoiled. My eyes spoiled me before my ears.
Which is kind of funny. I didn't really think I don't know. It kind of squashes the moment. The end of episode 7 is super epic with like the panorama film going around the island
and the music and the helicopter shot.
Right. I get riled up every single time. Apparently, the first things that Luke says to Rey is, "Who are you?" And I was like,
that could mean a lot of things.
It could mean a lot of things.
Who are you?
I kind of guessed.
Who are you?
My first interpretation of that.
Who are you?
Is like he has no idea.
Maybe.
But then I thought, that doesn't make sense because he's Luke. He should be like in tune with the Force and like feel this chick through the Force. Not in that way. Don't look at me like that. He looked at me like that. So I guess he could be saying it in more of a philosophical kind of like, who are you?
What have you become?
Nice. Saw Gerrera quote. Yeah, so that's kind of it. Beyond that, there's some locations reported from the video as well. There's like some X-Wing fighting a big ship or something. There is a scene with standards. Chewbacca, Poe, and General Organa.
What?
Leia. But they didn't have any speaking words. But apparently the locales look beautiful, which if you think of Rogue One had some beautiful locations, and I think that they're going to continue that trend. I mean, episode 7 did too.
I can think of one, and it was the final...
Scarif, dude. Scarif was absolutely beautiful and stunning.
That's the last scene, right?
Yeah, this is last place.
The other ones are like the giant rocky world that's all rainy. I'm like,
Right, we've seen that before.
And the other one is like the farmland. That's not very beautiful either.
I thought it was a really cool location.
I guess so.
This is not something we've seen in Star Wars, and so I like them using exotic locations.
At least like Avatar?
Yeah.
Side note, James Cameron has postponed all Avatar sequels for like 3 years. They're supposed to get one in 2018, Avatar number 2, and then he's also on the works on 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Because
apparently we need that much.
Because we need that much. But now he's like, yeah, we're probably not going to get one for like until 2022.
Dang.
2022.
That's okay.
So, I mean, if you're a big Avatar fan, why?
I liked it, but I'm not really looking for another one.
One of them's supposed to be underwater. How cool is that?
Interesting.
No, really, how cool is that? On a scale of 1 to 10.
An underwater Avatar movie?
Yeah.
Like a 2?
There you go.
Is it like the little... Are you referencing a Little Mermaid thing here with this Avatar? I don't know. Is it going to be the same character? Okay, I don't want to talk about it. I really don't want to talk about it.
I don't talk about Avatar.
Yeah.
We can go back to Star Wars. Lord of the Star Wars.
Lord of the Star Wars. Yeah, so that's just first words. And some little cows showed...
what could it mean, Justin?
Mountainous areas. Some...
Maybe he doesn't recognize
more desert. I'm so
Maybe
tired
she
of desert.
Doesn't have the Force.
No, dude, she totally has the Force. How does she not have the Force? She did Force power things.
Name one.
She grabs the lightsaber out of the snow. She mind tricks the stormtroopers.
What if she wasn't the one that grabbed it? What if Finn made it go to her?
And then when she was captured, she reversed and resisted Kylo Ren's Sith techniques to get into her mind.
How much
You're
practice?
afraid you'll never be as strong as Darth Vader.
How much experience has he had?
More than her. He's been trained.
By?
Luke. And
That's true.
Snoke.
Will Luke train someone on how to get into their mind?
No, that would be Snoke training. Probably. So either way, there's this little tidbit of Star Wars news.
So you're saying she's Obi-Wan's granddaughter?
What I'm saying is that she's really an Antilles.
I'm your aunt.
She's Rey Antilles.
Or I'm your niece.
Mm-hmm.
Word.
Mm-hmm. That's what I got for Star Wars. That's what I got.
We should be getting a trailer for them really soon.
I know. I'm expecting a trailer in the next month. That's what I'm thinking.
What if they just never have a trailer?
I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad.
Would you?
Yes. I freak out about Star Wars trailers. I will play them in every period of every class.
But what if you just went into the movie without knowing anything?
I couldn't. I can't resist. I can't. I try.
You don't think that would be super cool to just not know anything?
It would be really cool.
What if you could experience A New Hope for the first time again?
I don't know.
What if you
in the time
What
period?
if you removed all Star Wars knowledge and watched A New Hope right now for the first time?
I don't know if I would like it as much.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I grew up as a child, revering these films.
Yeah.
And that is part of the reason I like them so much, is because it also brings me back to, nostalgia as a child, watching with my parents and, playing with the toys as a kid. So, without that, I'll lose the nostalgia appeal.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'd be all about it as much.
That's how I feel about Transformers. Not the movies. Just Transformers as an idea.
Sure.
Those movies suck.
What if you never watched Spider-Man growing up? Would you still have Spider-Man as your favorite hero?
I like Spider-Man as my favorite hero because of video games. Because of all the video games I played, not because of the movies.
Okay.
But possibly.
Had you not.
Had I not?
Yeah, had you not done that.
Maybe not, because Spider-Man appeals to, the teenager.
Sure.
So, the 16-year-old that's going through puberty and is in high school and also is a superhero
awkward.
on the side,
Sure.
So now, since I'm not that, if I removed all knowledge, I'd probably be kind of more of a Captain America kind of guy.
Probably.
Whoa!
Sorry. I thought I had my phone on silent.
So, Deadpool 2 news.
Okay.
Domino, a new character has been cast, and it's Zazie Beetz. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's from another movie I can't remember. I didn't write it down. Look it up. Domino is another mercenary, kind of similar to Deadpool. She is in a relationship with Cable, who has already been confirmed for Deadpool.
Yep.
So that's why she's here, Domino. She has her biggest thing. So she has she's good at fighting and she's good at shooting and all this other stuff. But her biggest superpower, I guess, is that she has this probability meter that's always going from her eye, and it will change the probability of events to be in her favor.
Oh, interesting.
So it's so let's say she's running down a hallway and she's shooting to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
The eye will kind of warp the world, so whoever she's shooting at, if he's about to get away, it will make it a higher chance that she'll get her mark.
Wow.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. That is kind of cool.
Small little news there.
Yep.
So at least 3 people in Deadpool. Deadpool 2. Deadpool, Cable, Domino. And I doubt Cable is going to be Keira Knightley.
Who do you think it'll be?
I don't know. They talked about a lot of people. Maybe Wolverine will be in it. Not as Cable, as Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
You think so?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Deadpool was in Wolverine.
That's true.
Or Logan.
He was. He was the intro scene, sort of. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you like Deadpool a lot more than I like Deadpool.
I don't like Deadpool that much.
Oh.
It was a good movie.
I guess we talk about it a lot.
We did talk about it a lot.
I don't know.
I'm excited. I guess I'm interested to see what happens. I think it'll be very hard for the second movie to be as nearly as good as the first movie, just because the first movie came out of nowhere and it was kind of like the underdog,
sure.
Right? Now it's on top. Now it's the highest grossing R-rated film of all time.
Really?
So how do you beat that?
Dang. Yeah, I don't know.
Officially the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time.
Shoot.
So how do you beat that?
I don't know.
You don't really. I guess you just kind of try to match it. I mean, maybe you can make more money, but
maybe.
What do you do? And as a director, as a team, or whatever, what's the goal there? Because the first one is just, we're going to make a movie. We want it to be good, obviously, but it's Ryan Reynolds kind of just pounding around and making jokes by himself. Not by himself, but
Right.
So,
to the audience.
So they're trying to make a franchise out of this, or what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know.
Trying to make an X-Force movie?
I don't know.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll hold judgment until it shows up.
So you made me watch this terrible trailer.
Yeah, we did.
It was so bad. I thought this was a fake movie.
The Little Mermaid live-action movie.
Yes.
To go along with the Beauty and the Beast live-action movie and the Jungle Book live-action movie. Sure. You'd think, because all three of those properties have been animated by Disney in the past.
Yes. I would assume that Little Mermaid would be Disney as well.
Turns out it's not.
Turns out it's false. And about halfway through, I was a little suspicious of it. I thought this was like
what is this?
One of those fake trailers that's on YouTube or like
no, this is really,
or it's a B-movie thing like on Netflix.
So we watched. I was on YouTube the other day. I was on the trending tab because nothing else was going on.
You hang out there sometimes?
Not very often, but I saw that this trailer was number 2 on trending worldwide. I'm like, why is there a Little Mermaid live action trailer? I'm like, why is Disney making more live action movies? Stop! Nobody wants these. We'll go there next.
Okay.
First, Little Mermaid. You think Ariel. You think Poseidon. Is that the king's name?
Yeah.
You think Flounder. You think Sebastian.
Yeah. Sure.
Prince Eric.
Yeah.
I think is the guy's name.
You think all of those things.
You think all those things. And then you think underwater, you think singing, then dancing and blah, blah, blah. You think Sora, you're doing that awful level in Kingdom Hearts.
I know, I absolutely hated that level in Kingdom Hearts.
This is not that at all. This is reversed, essentially, from what I understood from this trailer.
Yeah.
It all takes place on land. There's a mermaid in a carnival.
Yeah, in like the early 1900s is what it looks like.
And then there's a mermaid folklore that there's a woman, that there's a girl on Earth, on land, that has the heart of a mermaid. And it turns out the main character, who is not the mermaid, is another girl. Who
has the heart of a mermaid.
Is a land walker, I'm going to call her.
Yeah.
A land lover. She has...
Nice.
So she's the heart of the mermaid, and they go through all this, but the mermaid sometimes is a mermaid, sometimes isn't a mermaid.
I hate this already.
It's so bad. And I'm like, the only reason they can make this is to try to trick people into thinking it's a Disney production. Mm-hmm. Right?
That's the only way. It's the only reason. My original thought was, first off, this was fake. Second off, what if they did this to try and get Disney to sue them to stop doing that, since it's the exact same name as their other movie?
Yeah.
And because Disney has been on this trend of doing live action, I was wondering if they started to make this movie just so that Disney would pay them a bunch of money not to make it. And then Disney was like, nope, not doing that, and then they are letting them make it.
But Disney doesn't own
The Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid.
The story. No, she doesn't. No, they don't. They don't own a lot of the stories that they tell, because a lot of them are old German folklores and other folk tales from Europe. And
true dat.
So, technically not theirs.
So that's part of the live-action Disney conversation.
Yep.
Another part is Beauty and the Beast is coming out this Friday. We've already had one experience with the Jungle Book, which got pretty good reviews, I think.
I liked it.
But there's also making a live-action Lion King movie. Don't know how.
Yeah, that's going to be different.
But on early reviews for Beauty and the Beast, it's at a 68% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not very good. 68%. That's failing.
Well, I read a review about it, and it said that, I think it was BBC, I was reading BBC News, and I saw a review for it. So I read the review, and essentially it was like, if you're not going to change anything, why would you remake it? Because essentially it's the exact same thing, just live action.
Really?
All the scenes are pretty much the same.
They added new songs.
Did they?
Yeah. I heard they added new songs, and they didn't really stand up to the originals. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. You have Emma Watson in there. And
she's awesome.
And you're like, okay, she's awesome, but really, what has she done? She's known for Harry Potter, and she's broke out and done some other things by herself, obviously, and she is a good actress.
Right.
But what else has she done other than Beauty and the Beast? Can you name something off the top of your head?
Something else that Emma Watson has done?
Yeah.
I know she's doing The Circle, which is coming out soon.
With Tom Hanks?
I know there's something else I've seen her in. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Nothing huge recently. I know she's probably done some, side movies. I'm sure IMDb has all this information that we're trying to remember. But
the point is, I shouldn't have to go on to IMDb to know what else she's doing. That's what I'm trying to make. Because, I know her from Harry Potter, and she is a big name actress, because everyone always talks about Emma Watson. Mm-hmm. But other than Harry Potter, what has she done?
Wallflower?
Now she's in...
Perks of Being a Wallflower?
Maybe.
That's a good one.
But now she's in Beauty and the Beast, and everyone talks about how I'm going to go see it because Emma Watson's in it. Because it's so awesome. Mm-hmm. Let me look at the Jungle Book.
So, earlier you said nobody wants these. And...
That was a little bit of hyperbole, but...
Okay. Well, then, I'll take it back a little bit. These are doing well, so they are... People do want them, apparently, because they're churning them out and they're making a lot of money.
But why?
Because it's Disney. They want to suck in all the money. They want to be the biggest media conglomerate ever.
The point.
They are right now.
Because Beauty and the Beast isn't doing great in theaters. I mean, early reviews, it's at a 68%. That's not doing too good.
But do you think that's going to stop people from going to
see it?
The
Jungle Book got a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. So that was incredible. That's a high-ranking movie.
It was great.
And then this one, Beauty and the Beast, which is more of a classic. Okay, this is where I'm going. Beauty and the Beast, which is more of a classic than the Jungle Book. Like, now you're starting to mess with people's classics, and you're like BBC said, why change anything if it's already so good? So the Jungle Book, you're like, okay, I've never actually seen the Jungle Book all the way through, either the original or
I used to watch the original all the time. That was one of my favorite Disney movies growing up.
Okay, but that's still not. Would you say that's still comparable to like Beauty and the Beast or The Lion King or The Little Mermaid?
I don't know. For me, my two favorite Disney movies were The Lion King and probably The Jungle Book.
The Lion King is
I didn't watch a lot of princess movies.
There could be an argument that The Lion King is one of the best films of all time.
Nice.
I would make that argument, and I don't know if I would make that argument.
I'm not going to argue against it.
A lot of people could make that argument. It's incredible for what happened at the time, all the animation and everything. But I think there are an upper echelon of Disney movies that you just don't mess with.
Sure.
And I think Lion King is one of them. I think Beauty and the Beast can be one of them. Probably Snow White. I would put Toy Story in there, but not everybody would, so we won't do that one.
Toy Story is awesome.
Yes. And I just think if the Jungle Book is there and you can improve on it, which they probably did, that's why it has a 95 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is an aggregate score.
Sure.
But Beauty and the Beast, which is already so good, if you try to change it, it's only going to bring it down, which is now at 68%.
Perhaps. I guess, like your margin for success with remaking a movie that's already been so well, which the Jungle Book wasn't like a scene-for-scene remake of the original Jungle Book. All the characters were in it, but it was told in a different way, and the different situations that were happening were all different. So I wonder to what extent they are different, and from what I've read already, it seems like they're not super different. And with that margin of success, because the first movie is so good, and it's like a classic, and people have loved it forever. It's like Americana, right? It's like
The Jungle Book or Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Because it's so well, you only have so much margin to improve upon that to do really well. So like
the risk reward.
Yeah. So like remaking a crappy movie, you have a lot of room for improvement, right? But for the original to this one, you're aiming for a much smaller target, which is going to be harder for you to actually find success with it. So,
Beauty and the Beast has a 93%. The original, 1991.
Yeah,
93 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is really good.
It is very good. I don't know. I'm probably going to go still see it, and I still think this is going to make a ton of money because it's Disney, and there are so many people out there who are like obsessed with Disney. It's their favorite thing. Like it's going to bring all these older people back in who like remember watching these as kids, and there's going to be a lot of kids going in there with their parents wanting to see it. So I don't think people, like everyday people who are going to try and go see this movie are even going to care about the reviews. So probably not even going to look at the reviews. For this type of movie, I don't think people really care. Still think this is going to be very successful in the box office.
I think it'll probably be.
I could be wrong.
One of the highest, probably top 3 highest grossing movies, top 5 highest grossing movies of the year.
Probably, because you got to remember Star Wars is going to come out.
Star Wars will be in there. Spider-Man: Homecoming is going to be in there.
Probably.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I don't know if Guardians of the Galaxy will honestly be in the top 5.
If it is, it's going to be like 5.
Yeah.
Probably. It's not going to be Star Wars. I'll tell you that much.
Wonder Woman will not be. Hopefully.
We'll see. Well, DC just DC.
I need to take a break. But like, how do you do live action? So the Jungle Book kind of makes sense with live action because you have the live action actor, the kid. I don't know what his name is. And you animate all the animals around him, and you've seen it. How do they animate like the facial expressions on these animals? Is it cartoony or is it more realistic? Giving them.
It's more realistic, really.
And can they translate that to The Lion King with only animals and no people?
First off, the Jungle Book did an amazing job with the animals. They looked very good, very realistic, but at the same time, were still like characters. And you could tell they were animated, but it was hard to tell. It was very good. So like, I'm excited to see with Disney's resources what The Lion King would actually look like. It would probably look really good.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell the same sort of story as the original, because the original is really funny. Like there are a lot of think of Timon and Pumbaa. Think of thinking of the song. What's the
Can't Wait to Be King?
The bird.
I just can't wait to be king.
Zazu. He sings some of those songs that are so funny. He's like, I've got a lovely bunch of... Like, that song makes you laugh every time because he's, like, in the prison. Like, it was just so funny. Like, so many funny parts of that. I don't know how well humor translates because I don't think The Jungle Book was very funny. There were some, like, light scenes and joyful scenes with Baloo, the bear.
Yeah.
But it's not really a funny story, and the whole story is kind of, like, actually kind of sad because the tiger is, like, killing everybody and... trying to hunt down Mowgli, so there's like all this suspense and tension in the new one, and even the Monkey King, which originally he was supposed to be like he's like a fun scene in the cartoon version. The new version, he was like really scary. It was intense, man. It was intense. So they told a totally different story. I'm totally off what your question was.
I don't even remember what the question was.
I don't either.
Do you think Aladdin would be the best live action movie? Because the genie is already computer animation is like right up his alley. You don't have anything to compare it to. You can't say, this is a real tiger.
This doesn't look like a real genie.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's like so much freedom in that. Because what else? Because it's all, pretty much all just regular character, like human characters, except for the monkey and the carpet and the genie. Sure. Genie, you can already take out because you don't have anything to compare it to.
Sure.
So you just have to put all the resources in the monkey and the carpet's not even that hard anyways.
Right. Yeah.
Why didn't they start there?
They're probably gonna remake most of their classics as live actions. Now that technology's increased enough to where you can like have an animated thing.
But then
next
in another
to it
20 years, they'll be like, "Well, let's do it all again."
Yeah, I mean, it's Disney. They want to make money. They're a business.
They're making.
They're running out of. They're running out of creative juices. They gotta like keep.
That's also another problem. Why don't they just do like
new movies,
new stuff?
Right.
That's not bad.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's kind of why we like Horizon Zero Dawn right now, is because it's like a new franchise, right?
No joke.
Like creative juices are flowing, and we have a new story, new character that we actually like.
I've never seen before.
That we've never seen before. We're seeing a world that we've seen similar worlds, but not exactly. I mean, this is unique enough that it feels like a new world. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like we're in an age or a time in media where everybody's just copying off of each other, and it just doesn't. We're like going with what's already been made. Like, think how many remakes are made in movies right now.
All of them.
Like, almost all of them are either remakes or sequels to movies that already exist. And, I mean, Star Wars is in that, right? All the Star Wars movies are in that, which are my favorite movies.
Except for one.
All the Marvel movies count as that. Like, what are the big releases this year? All of them are remakes or part of a series that's already existed.
I'm not in my movie state of mind.
Yeah.
I'm not there right now, but I'm sure I can think of another movie that's original, but I don't know.
I'm not saying that they don't exist.
Moonlight,
La La Land, all the Oscar winners.
I don't know about La La Land. How original is that? It just takes a lot of tropes from the old time and made it modern.
Remakes.
But Moonlight, I would say, was original.
Yeah, I have not seen that one.
Manchester by the Sea?
Yeah, that one was sad.
I haven't seen it. Have you seen that one?
I almost watched it, and then I thought, I don't want to be sad.
John Wick? Irregarding the fact that John Wick 2 came out?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
More stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Justice League. This has been confirmed. Justice League and the DC Comics Cinematic Universe will feature primarily flashbacks and flash forwards as a mean to tell stories for characters. A la...
This movie's gonna suck.
Batman v Superman. No, this is not just Justice League. It's Justice League and all the characters inside of it. Mm-hmm. So when the Flash has a solo movie, it's going to flash back to his time with the Justice League, or flash forward to his time with the Justice League and be like, this is why this happened, this is why this happened.
This sounds like a really convoluted...
This sounds like a really bad
complex way of telling a story that doesn't need to be that way.
Yeah. So... one of the reasons why the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing so well, just one of them, is the fact that they started somewhere and have expanded upon that. And if you want a flashback, just put in the DVD.
Right, go watch Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
Go watch the first Thor movie.
Not this one where it's like, there's like 6 different storylines weaving all through it at once.
Yeah.
And like, it's not like, this is like a super huge mystery the whole time.
Right. It's like they're trying to do what Marvel's done.
Except they're starting in the middle.
They're starting in the middle, and they're trying to tell they're trying to get you to like characters that they've given you no reason to like, other than the fact that they're classic like American comic book heroes, right? Like everybody knows Batman, everybody knows Wonder Woman, like you've heard of these characters before. Regardless of that, they're not giving you a reason to like the characters. They're just like, we want to be like them, so we're going to throw this really complex thing and try to make a Justice League movie like the Avengers and make tons of money. and it's just flopping, right? Like the Superman movie,
money.
They are making a lot of money, but the Superman movie, for instance, I think that's the best one out of the new ones that they've made since the Dark Knight trilogy, the first Superman movie. But even that kind of like sucked, even though I liked it, because I mean it was like the whole flashback and flash forward thing, right? People didn't know what was going on in there.
In which one?
The first Superman movie, the new
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel, right? And then the Batman v Superman, they're jumping all over the place.
But I guess even the flashbacks, if you talk about Batman v Superman, like the very beginning, when Superman is attacking, or not, when Superman is in the fight with Zod in the city and you see Batman on the ground, they count that as a flashback.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad way to tell a story for that. But then also throughout the whole movie, there's flashbacks to
Batman's beginning.
Batman's parents, Batman's beginning.
Right.
Flash forwards to that whole like 15-minute scene where they're in the desert and Superman's bad. It's like, what is happening?
Right.
Just fix this. Fix your movies.
They're just too complex. They're not... They need to focus on telling the story within the movie before they worry about connecting them to other movies.
No joke.
Because that's like what makes Marvel movies so good, right? The first wave of Marvel movies were all just like enjoyable movies that you got to know a character, and then the end scene connected it or like made it open for new movies.
The biggest flash forward in Captain America is literally the subtitle, "The First Avenger."
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then at the end, before the credits roll, he wakes up after he's frozen and it's New York City.
Yeah. Like modern day.
Yeah. Well, that's not even a flash forward. That's literally his story.
Yeah. I mean, that's the end of his...
Because he's asleep the whole time. He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
There's some flashbacks in Civil War to Bucky, but that's like the 12th movie they've made.
But at that point, you already like Captain America.
Yep.
You already like Iron Man, maybe. With with the exception of Tony, which is kind of funny because his name is Tony.
He doesn't like himself, which is probably true.
I mean, all the other characters like Ant-Man, with the exception of Spider-Man, all the other guys have had movies
doesn't like Spider-Man
where you've gotten to know them, and if you watch them, you probably grew to like the character a little bit.
Like, I understand this person.
Right, like I understand Ant-Man. He's kind of a big old joke, and he goes against the law, and he's like an old thief. So it kind of makes sense that he would go against like Iron Man and the law and order side of things with the Sokovia Accords, right? Like you get the motivation because you know that character. It's not like they started with Civil War and then we're gonna go make a bunch of other characters other than Black Panther.
Justice League is coming out before Cyborg, Flash, Green Lantern movies. They're gonna have, I don't know about Green Lantern, but they're gonna have Cyborg and Flash, Martian Manhunter, I don't know, in the Justice League before they even have their movies. That's their introduction.
Yeah, that's weird. They're doing it backwards.
You know who else was introduced in Avengers? The Hulk. You know who's the most popular superhero of all time before all these movies came out? Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, the Hulk. Who didn't know who the Hulk was?
Right. I don't know, they tried to make... I mean, technically...
Well, yeah, they did. They made those two movies, but it was a reintroduction of him as he is now.
Yeah,
apparently.
Which at that point, to release a Hulk movie standalone is like oversaturating the market. With
Thor Ragnarok is coming out.
It is.
Hulk's going to be in there. Have you seen the pictures for Thor Ragnarok?
I've seen a picture of
short hair?
the villain. And I've also seen pictures of his new weapon.
Yeah, but have you seen his short hair? Gets his haircut.
No.
Thor?
I did not
Gets his haircut. Real short, like yours.
My hair's not that short.
Compared to Thor's?
Long to me. I want to get a haircut.
Next.
Yeah, so what do we got next?
Jeff Kaplan, the co-creator behind, co-president of Blizzard.
Mm-hmm. The guy who does all the announcements.
Yeah. Announced that Symmetra was confirmed to be autistic.
Which is cool.
Which is another diversity in Overwatch among the numerous.
Right. Overwatch doesn't have a lot of lore in the game itself, but if you like go into the comics that they release and kind of like if you actually dive into what Overwatch is, they have a very diverse group of characters, and it looks like they're just expanding upon that. There were like fan theories. There was a fan theory before they announced it that Symmetra was autistic because of a few of the quotes in the game, and some like a couple other comics. They thought
she has her own comic too.
Yeah, Jeff Kaplan came out and confirmed it. Yep. Which is kind of cool.
It is cool.
I support it.
I love the characters in Overwatch because they're real. Does that make sense? Like that's a weird thing to say, but it's not like
because they're super cartoony.
They're super cartoony, right? But they have personalities and they're real personalities. It's not like so Nathan Drake from Uncharted is like Indiana Jones or like the big brute treasure hunter, if you were going to picture a treasure hunter in your mind, you would kind of think Nathan Drake.
Right, because he's kind of like confident, very knowledgeable, very capable, super strong, like...
And that's a good character for him, but it's not... I don't know. This just seems so real. So it's like, so Metro's autistic. You have Tracer who's gay. You have Soldier who's just old. And, I mean, maybe he's not the best.
Sure.
But you have the rivalry between Genji and Hanzo. The brothers.
Their brother thing. Yeah.
You have the internal conflict between Zenyatta and Zarya.
Yeah. You have, like, Ana and...
Mercy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just...
There's a lot of stuff.
They put a lot of thought into these characters. I really like it.
Yeah. And as they continue to expand upon it, and so far I've not been like upset about anything they've done. It's only added, I think, to the game.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Naughty Dog did with The Last of Us and the DLC, where they announced that Ellie was gay. Mm-hmm. Because it was you already loved Ellie from the game. The DLC came out a couple months later, and you're like, oh yeah, by the way, she's gay. By the way, that didn't affect your opinion of her throughout the whole game.
Right.
You're just now finding out.
Right, with the DLC with her and her...
Left Behind DLC.
Right, yeah.
I have not beat it. Or played.
Yeah. But either way...
Speaking of video games, Shadow... Middle Earth, Shadow of War has a 16-minute gameplay trailer.
Yeah, and it looks kind of cool. I really enjoyed the first game, Shadow of Mordor. It was like the first big game that, if I remember, that I played for PS4, because I played like Resogun. Like when I first got it, I didn't have like any games for it.
Yeah.
Which is pretty natural for the first part of a gaming console's life. I got it like almost right when it dropped. Shadow of Mordor was like my first big game where I put a ton of hours onto it. And it was really cool. Had the Nemesis system. And so Shadow of War is taking the Nemesis system and the gameplay that they had before and building upon it, making it a little more complex.
Yeah.
Looks kind of cool. So that in the video itself, in the gameplay, it showed like this fort taking thing. So in the beginning, or in the first game, you could like have Nemesis and you could like mess with the command structure of the Mordor forces by helping one guy get up and have him on your side, kind of, and so his minions like wouldn't really attack you if you were like running around. And you could kind of manipulate the whole command structure with who you killed and who you saved and who you wanted where. Now they're taking that into also having fortresses that you take over, that I'm assuming you build all your forces and you try and take down Sauron from within Mordor. That's what it's like that.
The gameplay that it showed was an attack on a base, essentially. It didn't show any of the open world freedom gameplay, which was a little disheartening to me. I'm like, what is this? Like, I don't want to just attack compound after compound. I want to see the open world. But it looks like after you have taken down the war chief of that command post, you then have access to the open world around it. I think that's how I understood it. They didn't show it, but that's kind of what they talked about. It looks like they almost completely revamped the Nemesis system in this, where now you have allies as well as a Nemesis.
Right.
And then those will also help you in your battles and help you when you're attacking these outposts. There's one scene. Well, there's a woman narrating over the film, I guess. And she says, "No two players will ever have the same experience because the Nemesis system is going to work so differently." And there's a scene where you're fighting this mini boss. I guess. Well, first of all, the cool thing about this is that there's seem to be bosses and mini bosses in this. Where the biggest complaint about Shadow of Mordor was the final boss was so trash.
Yeah.
Right. So now they've added more bosses, which is cool.
Yeah.
But you're fighting this boss and you get him to like half health or whatever, and then he gets sniped by one of your teammates that you gained through the Nemesis system.
Right. You like had him be a spy in the attack.
Yeah. And he's a sniper, spy, stuff like that. And then the woman announcer's like, because of the Nemesis system, this guy was here to help you. And at first I'm like, that's so cool that everyone's gameplay is going to be different because everyone will have different teammates.
Different
and then I thought, well, he was a spy class. So it just makes sense that you just get someone for the spy class and it'll have the same effect. It'll have the same cutscene no matter what. Just whoever's in that specific cutscene will be different.
Perhaps, yeah. Which we don't know. We're drawing conclusions from what we saw. We don't know exactly how it works, but it makes sense that they would have essentially a pre-program like this is the event, and depending on which type of character you have in this, it's going to show something slightly different, right? So like maybe if there's a melee guy, instead of him getting sniped, some guy would like jump off the roof and like take him down or something. Like,
so that's what I'm thinking. Like okay, you're going to attack this fort. You have 5 slots. Fill them with 5 of your teammates. You have a sniper, you have a warrior, a breacher, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
But you left out the melee guy. Okay, well, I'm going to switch the breacher with the melee guy. And now I can't get through the front gate, but instead we're going to climb over the walls, and this is going to happen.
Yeah, so it is dynamic in the way you build your team to some extent.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see more as it gets closer.
I don't remember when it said the release date. I do remember that it showed the Xbox logo before and the Xbox logo after. I doubt it's going to be exclusive.
No, probably not.
But why... Microsoft must have had to throw so much money at them to get it, like... Who's making games for Xbox anymore? Like, there's exclusives, and Xbox is doing well. Xbox One is doing well for a system. But when compared to PS4, like, wouldn't you just want to have all your games on PS4? There's 100 million units out. Just put them on PS4.
Yep.
I mean, they'll be there eventually, but...
Microsoft probably has a lot of money to throw around,
the branding.
considering they do tons of other stuff, but... I don't know.
You want to talk about Iron Fist?
Sure.
I have some notes.
You do have some notes.
That might be taking you by surprise.
So, potential spoilers? Not really.
I don't have any spoilers in this, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But Iron Fist comes out on the 17th. We're recording right now on the 12th. 5 days in advance, we don't know. However, some internet influencers have had access to the first 6 episodes. They've been watching them, and they've been reviewing them, and the reviews are bad. So they're not getting the greatest reviews for the first 6 episodes. Currently, it sits at 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is 5 points above the 50 Shades of Black sequel. That's not good. I wrote down Luke Cage sits at 96% right now. Jessica Jones sits at 93%. Daredevil sits at an average of the 2 seasons at an 87%. So both of those, or all 3 of those, are really high.
Yeah.
14% for Iron Fist is so low. It's unbelievably low.
It's very low. I mean, the first thing I saw about this was IGN posted a review on my Snapchat feed, and it was like, worst Marvel TV show? Question mark. And then I was like, oh, now I'm interested, and I clicked on it and watched the review. They didn't have nice things to say.
Did they say it was boring? A lot of people saying it's boring. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It just it's really slow. It seems like whitewashed, if that makes sense.
That's what they're saying. That's what
phrase.
Polygon said. I have some notes about that.
Yeah.
There's 2 things that happened with this that have to do with race. The first one was when they first announced Finn Jones as the actor. A lot of people thought it was ridiculous that they chose a white actor for a martial artist who gets trained by
monks and Shangri-La.
And then he becomes better than the monks. So like, well, why is a white guy better than the people that created this martial art type of thing? And then he goes back. And then also that led to a recent argument between Finn Jones, who's the actor behind Iron Fist, on Twitter, just saying things like, what movie was that? There's an actor from another movie that gave a speech about how race is important and diversity is important in Hollywood. And Finn Jones is like, I agree 100%. Like, look at this video. And people like jumped on Finn Jones because they're like, how can you support this when you're a white actor playing Iron Fist? And things like that. He's like, first of all, that doesn't make any sense because Iron Fist is white to begin with. It was made in the 70s, so everybody was white back then in the comics and in movies and everything.
Right.
We weren't the most diverse culture. But now a lot of people are saying, and I read this from Polygon, and it makes a lot of sense. I think an Asian American would be better suited for the Iron Fist role as opposed to Finn Jones. And that kind of goes even with the theme that Marvel has been doing with their TV series. To where they said Asian Americans can relate more to isolation in America better than a white Iron Fist. Because Iron Fist, as we've talked about previously, grew up until he was like 12 in New York with Rand Enterprises, which think of it as Wayne Enterprises from Batman Superman, or from Batman.
Right.
So super rich. His parents die in a plane crash.
He survives.
Goes to Chunlun, where he learns kung fu from the monks and everything.
Sure.
Learns martial arts from the monks. Then he comes back and he's isolated. He's not with the monks anymore that raised him. He's now by himself, trying to win back his father's business. But while doing that, he doesn't have really anybody to rely on. So isolation is going to be a big main theme here, I think.
Sure.
And a lot of people are saying Asian Americans can relate to that better than a white American.
Right.
Because obviously Asia is not the United States.
Well, yeah, and historically in the United States, think of like the World War II internment camps for the Japanese. There's the Chinese Exclusion Act. that just banned Chinese immigration to the United States. So like the people who were here were stranded. Like there are a lot of things in American history that Asian Americans were like isolated from their families or isolated from just mainstream society. There's a ton of stuff like that.
Yeah. And then even to go farther into the Marvel universe of Netflix, I didn't think about this, but Luke Cage is invincible. His bullets bounce off of his skin.
Right.
But that's even more important that he's black skinned.
Right. And
even in the culture from when he was made in the 50s or 60s to even today, having a black skinned man that can't be hurt or can't be injured by bullets means something. It's meant something for 40 years now.
Sure.
So race is a big part of that.
Right.
Of Luke Cage, and even like Luke Cage is ranked so high, like it's a 96% of Rotten. I didn't think it was that good.
Yeah, I mean,
there were a lot of
things I liked about it, and a lot of things I didn't, and a lot of things I did like about it was the way it showed the community in it wasn't Hell's Kitchen, it was what was the neighborhood? I don't know. I just like Pop. I love Pop.
Harlem.
Like Pop is my favorite character in that.
Oh yeah,
I love Pop.
Pop's
and I loved like all that stuff it showed. I don't know, just more diversity than what we're used to seeing in superhero shows.
But it's even something that I don't even personally relate to. Like, there's so many underlying themes in that show that I can't relate to.
Sure.
So I don't think it's that good because it's not something I can personally relate to. There's nothing wrong with that. But the scene it was in 96 was shocking because, one, the final fight scene was awful.
Yeah.
And, like, after the first 3 episodes, it was pretty bad.
First 3 were great, though.
The first 3 were great, though.
I was like, yeah.
But there must be something here that I'm just not getting. And there is something that I can't relate to that makes it good.
Sure.
So Luke Cage is a big that's why it's at 96. Jessica Jones, woman superhero. Again, something I can't relate to. Got a 93. Daredevil is a white guy, but he's also Catholic. I can't relate to Catholicism, but I can relate to being a white guy.
Sure.
So I relate more to him. But all of those are like... It's like Daredevil shows Catholics, and Jessica Jones shows women empowerment, I guess, and Luke Cage shows African Americans, and Iron Fist can show Asian Americans, but instead they decided to show whites.
Sure.
And
which we already get with Daredevil.
But can they really be faulted that much? They don't... Should it...
Right.
Like, what if... So, Iron Fist is white in the comics.
Right, so how close do they keep to the original narrative and the original comics, right? Because some people are going to be like, it needs to be the comics. Yeah. It needs to be accurate. So you're going to be like that. And to what extent should they be doing this for modern America as opposed to for the comics?
Right.
You know, I think that's like
the
underlying issue.
What if they changed skin tone for Daredevil? Would there be outrage? Like, what if they made him Hispanic instead?
Sure.
Still Catholic.
Right. I don't know.
What if they changed Luke Cage to being white?
Yeah, that would be a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
People would have been outraged about that.
Exactly. So, I don't know. Is it whitewashing to make him similar to his original character? Or maybe they should have made him Asian American. That'd be cool.
Yeah, you know, I personally,
I'm not Spider-Man Unlimited TV show. He is Asian American. It's a cartoon.
Okay. I don't know. I think if they would have made Iron Fist white from another character, like if he was originally another like race,
yeah,
and then they made him white, then it would be like a travesty. I think how it is, they could. I think it would have been.
That's white. Well, that would be whitewashing.
That would be whitewashing,
like they did with Ghost in the Shell.
Yes, exactly. I think it would be cool if they would have used this as an opportunity to show more diversity, but I'm not like mad at them for doing it because it is keeping to the comics. So I just think they missed a cool opportunity. I think they missed an opportunity here.
They took a 3-point shot and they missed.
They did.
Airball.
Right.
Now Finn Jones says people just need to watch the show before passing judgments. Turns out people have watched 6 episodes. They are not happy.
Yeah, they don't.
So chances are this isn't even going to matter because it's getting so low ratings. People are going to talk about it for a week and forget about it.
Yeah.
Until the Defenders comes out, and then hopefully by then they'll have
everybody else
everything back together.
Right. I mean, all the other characters that everybody likes will hold up the Defenders if Iron Fist flops.
Iron Fist and Luke Cage are supposed to be super best friends, so it's gonna be so funny to see them acting together.
Yeah, it will be.
Around.
We'll see. Round around how they do.
Yep.
I don't know why I said that.
I don't know. So knowing that it's rated so low, and knowing that it's just the first 6 episodes, like, are you excited for it to come out on Friday, or are you gonna instead spend your money to go see Beauty and the Beast?
Well, I'm probably gonna go see Beauty and the Beast because my girlfriend's gonna be.
You got a lady friend.
Because I have a lady friend. She like has told me since we first saw the trailer, she's like, we're watching that. which is fair because I was like, when Star Wars came out, I was like, we're watching that. She's like, okay, even though she's not a huge Star Wars nerd. So it's a give and take thing. But I'm going to watch it. I'm not like super excited about it. Honestly, I'm more excited to watch The Office for the 4th time through than I am to watch Iron Fist, which I am doing right now.
Were you more excited about watching Iron Fist before these reviews came out? Have these reviews affected?
I wasn't really connected to Iron Fist in any way before, whereas Luke Cage I saw in Jessica Jones. Mm-hmm. And Jessica Jones, I was still like excited because Daredevil did so well.
Yeah.
And I was connected through the villain because he was in Doctor Who, and I really like
David
Tennant, yeah. So, like, I had connections to the other stories. This one, I didn't know anything about the character beforehand. And
Claire Temple's the only...
And Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, for me, were steps down from Daredevil. Daredevil is still my favorite out of so far, the Netflix Marvel movies.
Season 1 or Season 2? I'm currently...
Oh, man, that's hard.
I'm currently watching Season 2 again. I have 2 more episodes. I'm going to try to finish it before Iron Fist comes out.
I don't know. I like them both. Probably Season 1. I really like Season 1.
Season 2 drags on a lot.
It does. And it's the introduction of, like, the new characters.
Yeah, there's all this new stuff. And, like, episode, 8 through 12, or there's just, like, half the episode is just, like, filler, kind of. And I was like, this doesn't need to be here. They could be shorter.
Right. Probably the first one. But there are some scenes in the second one that I really enjoyed.
I don't know. They've only reviewed the 6 episodes of Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
However, in all the other... So, like, Jessica Jones, what if you only reviewed the first 6 episodes? Jessica Jones...
It would be terrible.
...really ramps up towards the end.
Yeah, it gets awesome at the end.
And the...
There's a lot of setup.
Yeah. But in Daredevil, like, I always talk about the hallway fight scene. That's episode 2 or 3. And then when Kingpin kills a guy by slamming the door in his face...
Yeah.
That's, like, episode, 4.
Yeah, I was like, dang.
So the first 6 episodes of Daredevil are super high. Mm-hmm. The first 6 episodes of Luke Cage... The first 3 start off really well. The next 3 are really bad.
But they're action-packed. There's a lot of action in that, right? I'm trying to think of...
In 3? No, because episode 3, the end is when he shoots the Chinese with the rocket launcher.
Right, no,
the Chinese restaurant. And then the next episode is flashbacks the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
When he's in the prison.
Yeah.
And that's a whole episode of him being in the prison, which, I mean, I guess there's kind of fighting there. But how much faith can you put in the first 6 episodes? When really the only one that's had a good first 6 episodes is... Daredevil Season 1.
That's a good point.
Because Daredevil Season 2, there's one whole episode where Daredevil and Punisher on top of the roof.
Sure.
Which is a good scene that's like frame by frame from the comics, and that's super cool. And then you have the courtroom scene, but really it's towards the end now when everyone comes out and it starts
picking up. Yeah. So maybe this is like too soon to tell how good it is. But it's not a good start. We can at least say that.
That's true.
So yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about Horizon Zero Dawn, but...
We still can. I mean, it's Meridian. I'm at level 38.
Oh my gosh. I'm level 20 now.
Hey!
From all my exploring.
I literally did, so there's 2 tall necks before you get to Meridian. There's the one in Norway lands and there's the one in the Carson lands. I did both of those. I did everything that's unlocked through those. Mm-hmm. And then I finally went to Meridian and got all these side quests, like, accounted for.
Like a bunch of them, yeah.
Yeah, which is good because I was wandering around doing nothing. I was just exploring and, like, killing machines. That's how I got so high. So now I'm hitting these side quests, and it's really just rejuvenated my love for this game. Because, like, a big complaint I had for it was, I'm going to walk all the way over here, and there's not going to be anything there. Mm-hmm. And then now I have side quests, and it's taking me back to areas I've already been. So, like, I should have just done these side quests. I should have just done these main quests. Because it would have taken me to these places anyways, and I could have gotten distracted along the way. Mm-hmm. As opposed to, I have all this cleared out, now I'm just going to fast travel there, do my thing, and fast travel back. Mm-hmm. Which I might do, I might not do. I don't know. I'm doing my first side quest that took me really far away.
I don't know. I think there are 2 different ways to approach it. I think... Because this game does have, like, such beautiful locales and, like, randomly you can just run into, like, random creatures and you're like, I haven't seen that before. That's super cool. It has that, and that's, like, a really cool element of the game. To me, like, doing the story, there are 2 different ways to do it. You can either do it straight through.
Which is what you're doing?
Which is what I've been doing until recently, because I kind of, like, had some issues with my 6th episode on our Let's Play.
Yeah.
And it's really slowed me down with the story. So while I've been trying to get that fixed on my computer end, I've just been doing exploration and, like, grabbing, like, the random collectible things.
Yeah, the vantage points and the
the things that I think would be boring for people to watch. with that, it like changes the whole game. If you were to do all that exploration while you're doing the main story, it would really slow down the story. And I think the story is better when you hit it mission to mission to mission. So I would prefer to do the whole story straight and then go do the other things, or do it the opposite way, which is probably what I would have done if I didn't have the recording the plan that I have for recording. I probably would have explored everything, tried to do a bunch of side quests before I did the main story.
Yeah.
Because the main story, once I know the main story, my motivation for the game is probably going to decrease a lot.
Yeah.
So
all my side quests are leveled like 12, 15.
And you're 38. Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. I think...
But the machines are still hard. They're still difficult. Like, I can't... Sure. I have no idea how you can do it at level 20, fighting like a Thunderjaw. Like, I fought I fought one Thunderjaw and I fought 2 Stormbirds.
I haven't... I fought a Stormbird. I've not fought a Thunderjaw. I've seen one and it scared the crap out of me.
I'm gonna get out of here.
And I was like, dude, I like looked for places to hide. There was no place to hide, and I was like sprinting.
Yeah.
And I like got out of there. Man, that thing was scary and huge, and I didn't like. I just looked. I scanned it and like looked at all its weapons, and I was like, this is a bad idea.
See, I want to think that the creatures level up when you level up, because that would be cool. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't think it is, because the Scrappers used to, when I first started, I hated Scrappers. They're so annoying. And now they're like so easy to kill. Like, because I have those new skills, like I can sneak up on them and get the silent kill on them.
You can get a one-hit silent kill on them, but they still take like 3 arrows to take down.
They do.
Like, they have the thing on their back, and then they have the thing on their butt.
But
I'll shoot both of those off, and they still take another arrow.
Right. But think about doing that without hardpoint arrows, or without the arrows that like instantly knock off their like components. Because I tried to take one down with my regular hunter arrows, and it takes 2 hunter arrows to take down to like knock off one of their components. Whereas before it took 1. So
have you been putting mods on your weapons?
I have been.
Okay, yeah. Me too. You need to get the Tinkerer skill. Have you unlocked it yet?
No, I'm actually I like maxed it on my stuff, and I was like, you told me about the Tinkerer skill, and I was like, oh no. So I've been working towards that. Yeah. I still need to level up like 6 more.
Otherwise, when you replace a mod, the original mod gets destroyed.
Right.
And you want to keep those.
Right. So I've really, while I've been trying to get my whole episode thing sorted, I've really just been expanding all my cargo capacities for like different mods and resources and things, and then also trying to do like the random run over here and collect this thing out of the way. So now the whole Nora Lands is like explored. I have all the metal flowers and the ancient, like the mugs and the vantage points. I have all those now for the first area, and it's like the whole first third of the collectibles, because it's in like thirds.
Sets 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I have the whole first set now.
Yeah. You get a trophy for fighting and defeating each combat monster machine. So you probably need a Thunderjaw, and then you'll get one.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm going to get there.
Obviously, there's going to be a story mission where you have to fight a Thunderjaw or something. Like I said, I just got to Meridian, and I unlocked Meridian and opened it all up so I could see everything on the map, and I got all the side quests. I went back. There's one side quest that takes me all the way back to Nora, and that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
Did you go north in Nora to the Banjo?
Banuk?
The Banuk, that's who it is, not the Banjos. And their whole thing?
That's the side quest I'm doing right now. There's a side quest to go up there. And I got all these side quests, and it was like 12:30 at night. I'm like, man, this really just rejuvenated me. I don't want to stop playing. I'm like, it's 12:30. I gotta stop. And then I fought like 4 Glenhawks at once. I'm like, this is annoying.
Not
these things are so good.
Not okay.
What do you think about Stormbirds? Like, you fought one, right? You took it down?
No, it was bad. It was hard. I always felt like I need to get those skills because that lead up to Tinker, because it is so expensive to use some of the arrows, and I hate using the more expensive arrows because it just destroys my like metal shards.
Yeah.
Because like right now,
how many metal shards do you have?
I have like 1,000.
I have.
How many do you have?
Over 20,000.
What? See, that's because you took those skills, and I haven't. And also, you're level 38, which is crazy. You probably have way more hours on the game than I do.
Well, you get there's a harvester arrow you eventually get.
Yeah.
And if you knock something off with a harvester arrow, it then generates, like if you knock off a blaze canister with a harvester arrow, you get more blaze out of that canister.
Oh, that's cool.
So like instead of like picking it up and getting 1, you pick it up and get like 6.
Oh, dude, that's sick. And then you can sell all the extras.
So you can sell all the extras, which I've been doing. I have my max resources all the way maxed in capacity, so it's 100 is the max.
Yeah.
Yesterday I got to the highest I've ever been, which is 96 slots filled.
Yeah.
And most of those were like duplicates. So like
you went back through and sold tons of your duplicates of your resources you use for arrows.
So the Ridgewood is like you can have 250 in each slot, and I have like over 1,000.
But you can't sell Ridgewood.
I'm not gonna sell that. I'm gonna use it,
which is annoying.
But there's also like chill water. I had like 400 chill water, and I never really used chill water, so I sold until I only have.
You really only need one stack of like most of them. Because you get them so much running around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, that's what I've been doing. If it has 50, I just leave one stack. If it has 25 for each stack, then I do 2. So I just always have, like, 50 of everything, and then everything else I just get rid of.
Any plants I don't do. Any of the fire kiln, or
I don't know what those are for.
The freeze rime. Really. I think it's for the traps.
I never use traps.
I never use traps either.
I should probably try and use
them. Have you gotten the shadow sling yet? It shoots out. You can have sticky bombs. Mm-mm. Like, you have proximity bombs and you have sticky bombs.
I have, like, the base... I have, like, the explosive one you get from Nora, and that's it. I need to upgrade some... The only, like, cool thing I have the Shadow Hunter's Bow, which has the 3 on there. I want to get Shadow Everything, because it has, like, the most... Yeah, it has, like, the most utility to it. 3 different types. And that's, like, really nice.
I still don't like that you can only have 4 weapons equipped at a time. I really wish there was... Go to your weapon slot, press R1. Oh, there's another weapon circle here. Mm-hmm. So you have 8 equipped or something like that. Mm-hmm. But
alas, they'll want to limit us.
That's right.
So anyways, I'm really enjoying Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm excited today because I'm not uploading or rendering any videos. So I can...
Now you can play it.
Now I can play it, man. Get some more hours on it.
Heyo! If you want to watch Justin's videos, go to our YouTube channel, Underpaid Gamers, on YouTube.
Yeah, we have one.
If you want to say, Justin, you did a really good job, you can tweet at him through us at Underpaid Gamers Podcast on Twitter.com.
Or leave a comment
on the video.
Or, better yet, share us with one of your friends and hit that subscribe button, because that always makes us feel real good.
That's true. You can email us at underpaidgamerspodcast@gmail.com if, for whatever reason, you have something very nice to say, but you don't want anybody else to see it.
Yeah.
Justin's eyes only.
Yep.
And also mine.
Also Tony's.
We have a website, Underpaid Gamers Podcast, underpaidgamers.com.
True.
We have blogs there. Sometimes.
Yeah, occasionally we'll have its own unique post, or, I mean, most of the time we just post everything we make on there. So if you want to get, like, one source for everything, or if you want to see our episode notes, a lot of times we put links in the notes to where we got our sources. Yeah, you can find that. So... If you want to go deeper with our episodes, you can always go there.
You can always go deeper.
You can always go deeper. A lot of times we'll post our YouTube videos on there too. Some of the times. Not all the time. Most of the time.
You can find us on our Facebook group.
Yeah.
We post things there less often than we should.
We should. Yeah, we've taken polls before in the past.
And Instagram.
Yep.
Where we post things as well.
If you Google us, we're all over the place.
There you go. So Justin has a Let's Play with no commentary, because sometimes people just don't want to hear...
Right.
You talk, they just want to watch the gameplay.
I've had one of our avid listeners contact me and said, man, I really like your videos. I can't wait for your next one. I've really enjoyed what you've been doing with that. And that made me feel really good.
You have to tell me about that.
I will. Argy Learson.
Oh, yeah?
Number 1.
And then, what's next? What else was I going to say? So your stuff is on YouTube. I also post stuff on YouTube.
Right.
That are little instances that I run into in Horizon.
Different strategies.
Once we beat Horizon, either one of us will go back to our regularly scheduled uploads, which will be podcast episodes and a weekly episode of whatever we're playing.
Yeah. We just thought Horizon Zero Dawn is special, and maybe we'll do
it is special.
Maybe we'll do more special things in the future.
I'm trying to convince one of our mutual friends from college to buy it. Mm-hmm. He recently just came into some funds, and I think he's going to buy it.
We'll see.
He's a big Skyrim fan. Like, he's platinum on the PS3, then bought it for PS4, and platinum on the PS4.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So you'd think he would like this game. Because Skyrim is all about the arrows, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's open world. And this is open world.
True.
You know what I was thinking the other day? Aloy is a really cool character.
I like Aloy a lot.
2 specific instances. One where someone was, like, macking on her real hard, and she's like, if you keep talking, I'm going to leave. I'm like,
yes.
Get it, girl.
Confidence.
And another one's like, just the fact that if I was going to create a character, it wouldn't be her. But I still... Like, it wouldn't be the long flowing red hair. It wouldn't be this. It wouldn't be that. But I still really like the character herself. I did look, and she has completely shaved armpits. And I'm like, she's in the wasteland. Like, what's going on here? How's this happen? And people also complain that her eyebrows are too, like, trim and pluck, and her face is, like, blemish free. Like, what is she doing here in the morning? Like, she's plucking and she's putting on makeup?
I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty small complaint, though, because this game is absolutely beautiful.
That's true. So much fun. I've been playing with photo mode. I need to plug our challenge, HZD photo mode, hashtag, or also hashtag HZD photo challenge. Us and our fellow podcast, Games and Gaming Podcast, have been going at it.
Back and forth.
Except they are much farther in the game than I am.
So they're ruining things for you.
So sometimes they tweet at the hashtag and they don't tweet at me out of respect for spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been coming in hot. I've been taking some screenshots.
I took one.
Did you?
But I haven't posted it.
Oh, I'm like, where is it?
Yeah, it's a silent attack, and it's when you shove the spear into the guy, and it's going straight into its butt.
Ooh!
And then they look really artistic. Yep, I thought it was funny. That's why I did it.
Sweet! Well, if you're playing Horizon, keep at it, listener.
Yeah.
Tell us about your experiences, no spoilers.
For sure.
That's it.
That's what we got. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week.